Hello and welcome back everyone to LGE. Today we're here for a special event. It is the 2-hour of Le Mans race. It's the second edition of this race as well. And we have 7 different leagues going head to head in this classic event around the circuit of Le Mans. All right, so let's get the racing underway. And first off, we're here at the Circuit de LSR. It has got 38 turns and it has a 13.6 kilometer range, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's a long circuit, viewers, but it, of course, is a classic one as well. And in case you're wondering about the miles, it is 8.4 miles long. So we are ready to go for this prestigious event here at the Le Mans 24-hour event. But of course, it's not the 24 hours, it's the 2 hours of Le Mans. And in terms of the event itself, the format, we're going to have a 30-minute qualifying session. Then we're going to head into a 1 hour and 30-minute race. All right, so like I said, we have 7 different leagues coming in for this one, and it's today presented by LGE, and it is brought to you by LSR. We are hosting the event and streaming live here on LGE. And for the commentary booth today, it's myself, Formula Jonah, and joining me in the commentary booth is my good friend Joe Keensomet. And yeah, let's talk about this race. It's the Le Mans 2-hour event as we come into a very interesting race. 7 different leagues, 14 different drivers, a lot of action coming our way. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, hello, welcome. So, I'm really excited for Le Mans. It's a really interesting and long and really struggling circuit for a lot of drivers. It's got a lot of challenges, and of course, as we're going into the night now, it'll get even harder. Yeah, just Le Mans Classic track, of course, the home of the 24-hour event. One of the three championship events, of course. We've got Indy next week as well, that is among that, and Monaco as well. So it's a really prestigious circuit and event. And of course, here for 2 hours, half an hour in qualifying and an hour and a half race, as you said before, Jonah. It's certainly going to be an interesting one with these 12 drivers on track. And yeah, just really looking forward to seeing the action, and of course, hopefully some really good overtakes as well between these different manufacturers and different leagues.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I cannot wait for the second edition of this event, and also we're calling this the International Endurance League race, but the more common name is the 2-hour of Le Mans race. So yeah, super exciting, and we got a lot of drivers out there supporting their team, and they're going to be racing for their team, looking to win the event. We'll talk about those teams in a moment, but viewers, I want to say thank you so much for joining us so far. We've had a huge response of people coming in, which is great to see. Send in some comments, some supportive messages as well for your team. Who are you supporting? Let us know down in the comments section below. If you have any questions about this event, let us know as well down in the comments. Like this video as well, and subscribe to see more LGE content. We stream LSR and LFR races, and both leagues are racing in this event. LSR is racing the Porsche cars, and LFR is racing the Toyota cars, so watch out for those 2 teams and the rest of the grid as well. So we also want to let you all know about the cars itself and the track. We will be having a different conditions in terms of the night to day cycle and day to night cycle. So there is going to be some time changes throughout this event as well. Keep an eye on that. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So a lot of action coming our way, but we're halfway into this qualifying session. I'd say we've got a while still to go, but we've gotten into this qualifying session. I just want to ask the question, Joe, what are you seeing from these drivers? Is there anyone that's really you're keeping your eye on as we head into this phenomenal qualifying session at the 2 hours of Le Mans?
So, of course, looking out on everyone, but in particular is the American of Bethon in the Alpine livery Peugeot. Of course, a few weeks ago at Daytona, he won that event and was really strong there about a month ago. And of course, fielding the LFR car, of course, Vedran, more games as well, should be a really good driver in this competition in his VW Beetle. And like I said, everyone else is obviously to keep an eye on everyone, but certainly Bethon in that Alpine Peugeot.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on him. He's now gone second in that car, and he's going to be driving for the CSR team. So watch out for them. Betham and Stanley are driving for CSR. So that's going to be quite interesting. But yeah, definitely look out for Betham. Bonneville as well in the Aston Martin. They are looking really strong. I've been seeing some really competitive lap times from them, and I do believe their league is called Gavra. Hopefully I pronounced all these leagues correctly, but they'll be driving that Aston Martin car and looking really strong as we have now officially hit the nighttime. It is now night out on track as is actually turning into the night part of this qualifying session. Also, watch out for the Subaru team. That's Dret Virtual Motorsports, looking really strong. I definitely think they're going to be going strong in today's session. LFR's Toyota team as veteran in that Toyota, looking really strong. And then we also got the Porsches of LSR. They have that nice lightning strike area of the car, which is looking really strong. Sequit and Luke 2 Red are the two cars for LSR. And then we also got the ERA team as they'll be driving the Volkswagen as that will be more games. And I do believe we had another driver. Can't find him at the moment, but he is somewhere in here. As we actually have another Aston Martin, I do believe. And that is Rafilo in the Aston Martin car. So currently, Gavra leading away 1-2 in the qualifying session, looking really strong.
Yeah, he certainly is, and just a little side note, we're going to get 8,000 RPM joining for the LFR team in the Toyota. He was a little bit preoccupied, I think, and he's just going to join us at the end of qualifying. Not sure if he's going to be able to get himself a lap in, though.
That'll be great. We'll be seeing another driver join. That'll be awesome. And we have a few comments coming in. I'm just going to quickly read those. We had one coming in that says, is LFR in the McLaren? No, LFR is in the Toyota. NACS is the McLaren cars, and that'll be James driving the McLaren cars. So yeah, we'll see how that all works out. So hopefully that answered your question. But yeah, night is officially dropped. Does that change the conditions at all in the Grand Prix, Kingsome?
We'll have to wait and see. Of course, the temperature will drop. It potentially can bring some better lap time when the temperature does drop, but it does all depend. Of course, a lot of drivers will be unsighted into corners. You see James there, looks like he's struggling, and is in round in that McLaren, the Tesco livery McLaren, and has caused himself to obviously have to abandon that lap time, and he was struggling at the very start of the session as well.
Yeah, unfortunate to see James down there. I'm sure he'll be able to get a better lap in very soon. So we'll see how this works out. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, James in 12th position, 8,000 RPM has joined us. That's great to see. And I am curious to see what the front runners are going to be doing. Currently, Dret Virtual Motorsports and Gavra lead us away. And then we got a few more of the cars. I think we have the ERA cars, the Toyota car of LFR, and then comes the CSR and LSR cars of the Peugeot and the Porsche. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of action here in this qualifying session. And remember, viewers, this is a 30-minute session for the qualifying. And then we're going to head into the official race. That'll be an hour and 30 minutes. And the whole session completes the 2 hours of Le Mans. That's why we're causing this to be called the 2 hour of Le Mans. And before, we actually did have a race, and it went absolutely phenomenal. This was last year, I do believe. And it was another phenomenal event. And today, we're back for another one. We're back in a great car. A great team, of drivers, 7 different leagues, as I did mention, and all will be looking to chase that victory here at the 2 hours of Le Mans race. I'm actually going to quickly read through a few of these teams, and I'll let Kingsome do the same. So I want to start off with the LSR team, as they are American. They are based in North America, and yeah, they are a great team that started in 2020. So, yeah, keep an eye on the LSR cars. CSR started a little bit before that, and they have been running for 8 seasons, and they mostly have an F1 division. And, yeah, Kingsome, would you mind taking away with a few more of these team descriptions?
Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second. I was just trying to find the... there we go. And, yeah, so we've got Which one? Sorry, which was the one you just said before?
I just said CSR, so I just covered LSR and CSR. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So we've got ERA, which is More Games is a part of, and I'm not sure who the other driver is in that one. They're an Irish league, and they were started this year, so they're a pretty fresh league, and it has one tier, and it is struggling for some drivers, they say. So if you would like to join their league, I'm sure if you get in contact with More Games on the PlayStation chat, he will get you involved in that one. And we've also got DBM, and it's based in Germany. It's mainly international league, and it was established in 2020, so a couple of years ago now. And it has 3 different tiers, 2 for GT7. So obviously, if you're watching this and are interested in GT7, then please get involved with DBM, and they run on the PS4, of course, as well. And of course, we'll go for the last one, which is LFR, and they were established at the start of last year, and we're just coming to the end of our season 3 in our Monday and Tuesday tier, and we're still going to be running our Thursday tier for a few more weeks, and just crossing over actually into the new F1 22 game. And yeah, if you want to carry on with the other ones, Joe.
Yeah, that completes the team descriptions. Thank you so much, Joe, for letting us know all about that. So we are heading into the final few moments of the qualifying session. We still got a few more minutes to go, but I think a few drivers are going to be setting some quick lap times as we have officially hit night, as it has been slowly transforming into the night period of qualifying. But Sequit in that Porsche, looking pretty strong as always. We know him from the LSR League, and currently he's down in P11, needs a better lap time. He's actually just dropped to P12, because I think another driver just improved on their times, and we're already seeing drivers improving. As Shimani in the Subaru, I do believe, was second on the grid, so that's good. As he is down in second position right now, and then we have Diablo Devil in the Toyota car, I do believe, as he's in P3, and then we also got Betham and Vedran as well. That is the top 5 right now, as actually Betham has exited from that particular lap. He's now in the pit lane. So we have a few drivers on laps and a few drivers heading into the pit lane. As I actually want to ask you a question, Keensum. What is your favorite livery on the grid?
That's an interesting one. Could I actually get back to it? Is it because I'm assuming it's going to go from day to night in the race?
Oh yeah, you'll get a better
difficult. So I'll let you know later on that one. So give me that question again in a half an hour or so, and I'll have an answer. But as it stands, with the glances I've had, I do quite like the Porsche LSR livery, I have to admit, with that teal, blue and black. But yeah, I'll give you a proper answer a little later on.
Understandable. Yeah, since we are in the night phase, it is quite hard to see the cars out on track, but it is realistic, viewers. It is part of the Le Mans circuit, as the official Circuit de la Sarthe usually hosts a 24-hour race, and it goes from day to night and then back to day once we head into the few hours of the next day. That's what's so interesting about this circuit. But yeah, we'll see how this all works out. So a few drivers out on laps. I think they're getting ready to finish them up, as I'm just trying to find a car maybe to ride on board with if we get a chance to. I want to get an onboard, maybe with Stanley in the Peugeot. He's actually coming down to Indianapolis corner and into Arnage in a bit. And this is where a lot of crashes happen in the real 24-hour of Le Mans. This is a very slow part of the section as well. We're going to come down into Arnage, and you can barely see it because it's night. But I assure you that will change in the upcoming Grand Prix. You can see the overhead Porsche banner, as Stanley is about to come into the Porsche curves as well. As what's interesting is that since this track is at the night, it has barely any lampposts that are sitting up. So yeah, this is all about headlights for the cars, and if if a headlight goes out, then it's completely over for them. They're gonna have to come into the pit lane. So Stanley in the Peugeot will be looking to improve on his time.
So I'm not sure how long have we got left in the qualifying session now, Joe. We're obviously getting reasonably close to crunch time in qualifying.
I do believe we have 10 minutes left, so I'll send out a 5-minute warning to everyone out on track in 5 minutes, and then they'll have 5 minutes after that to set one final lap time before they go out.
So we're just watching 8,000 RPM actually come back into the pits there. He did have a time penalty on his current lap. Philo, who's out on track at the moment on provisional pole. He's on his out lap right now. Of course, a really long out lap. It's 13 kilometres in length, around my maths says right between 8 and 9 miles long. If I say if my maths says right around about that, I'm sure Joan has probably got all the stats. He's coming towards the latter part of the lap.
Yeah, he's coming into Arnage.
Hopefully he'll be able to improve on his previous time. He's got Shimoni behind him as well. Wonder if he might, as he actually just go past him. I think is he on a lap, Shimoni?
I do believe so. Yeah, he's coming through the Porsche curves now. Looks like he's on a lap.
It was tyre squeal from the German there as he comes into the final section of the circuit. And it's really a white knuckle part of the circuit here at Le Mans. So it's the most challenging part, I think. The first part of the lap, you do have quite a lot of respite. The further into the lap you go, the more challenging it does get. As he has incurred a 3-second penalty there, so he will come to the line.
And I just wonder if that 3-second time penalty may have affected his lap, as we have Ruffillo in the Aston Martin going slowly. Is that to come back out on track? I think it is. Or maybe, he's warming up his tires. That makes sense now. Okay. And we also have the other Subaru car in P2, Pepe Fresh. And he'll be looking to improve on his time right now, as Dret Virtual Motorsports currently in P2 and looking pretty strong right now. And CSR's Betham is in P3. So 3 different teams in the top 3, and actually CSR I think have the highest position for both of their drivers. Betham in 3rd and Stanley now in 6th actually. As right as I say that, Gavra improve on their position, and Bonival now goes 3rd, and now Gavra 1 and 3 looking really strong in this session. So this is getting quite interesting.
It certainly is. Just with 8,000 RPM, who messes up the first part of the chicane again. Seen him do it multiple occasions in the first part of the long back straight. He's on his out lap, so he is just warming up, but he certainly is struggling as he comes through the second chicane.
And that Toyota's looking really quick right now. I've noticed that the Toyota's looking really strong. That is the Supra, remember, viewers, as he comes down into the Mulsanne corner. As he's just going to come into that really, really quick section of the Indianapolis Straight.
This is the second longest straight on the circuit, I do believe. He runs under the Rolex advertising board. Down towards the Indianapolis corners. Goes over the rise. It's quite bumpy in this section. Of course, it is the road course part. now come back towards the designated circuit. Of course, the Bugatti circuit, which is a little bit further along in the lap. It's just a wall of trees for miles, Jonah, on this 24-hour circuit.
It really is, yeah. It's got a lot of trees. I guess that's good for the environment. But yeah, this section, I think, is going to have less trees as we come through the Porsche curves now. This is a very, very technical section of the track, as he's going to come through under the Michelin corner.
Ooh, clipped the wall there. He's on his outlap.
Yeah, he did. That was not good.
So he's definitely scratched some of the paintwork there on the right-hand side.
It's got a little bit wide at the exit of those particular corners as he comes through the Ford chicanes now. As, oh, he's been given, I think, a penalty, I do believe. A 5/10 penalty.
Which is, that was a little bit silly. He struggles through the final chicane and on to the start-finish.
Well, I want to say, viewers, thank you very much for your support down in the comments. I have seen a lot of people supporting different teams. Great to see that. A lot of support for Dret Virtual Motorsports, which is awesome to see. A lot of support for LSR, Gavren, really every team on the grid, which is awesome to see. Yeah, that's 8,000, goes into the wall, and he's spun.
And back into the pits, so he's abandoned that, and I'm not sure if you're able to fix the whole car in qualifying, but that certainly would have given a big amount of damage to his car there. So we're shortly coming into the final stages of qualifying. Of course, being such a long lap, you need to come out nice and early to get your final approach in.
And I've just given the drivers a 5-minute warning for their final laps. Had to type that up real quickly, so thank you everyone for your patience. But yeah, 5 minutes left, viewers, of this qualifying session, and this means we're going to see the fastest laps from everyone today. Also, Sequit P6 looking to improve on his current lap time. So this is good, as we have a few drivers in the pit lane, probably getting another soft tire or a medium tire, fresh new set of tire, and they'll be able to go out for another lap and one final lap, because this track is so long, right?
So it certainly is crunch time for these drivers now. They'll have to be coming out on their final out laps to start their final flying laps. And at the moment, the Brit of Philo is in provisional pole at the moment. Pepe Fresh was on that provisional pole a few moments ago until he took that away. But he is on his final out lap now. Hopefully we'll be able to challenge for that pole position again in this next lap.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. It will be in due time. We'll see that pole lap or a higher position lap. We'll see how that works out. And Shimoni has only gotten 2 laps, so I'm assuming he's going to go out for another one, try and go for a third and final lap of the session today. And I think we're just waiting for everyone to finish up their laps as we see the Dret Virtual Motorsports car come through Tete Rouge. And, yeah, looking pretty strong from all these drivers today. It's looking to be a very interesting. Hold on a second. The Thom has changed over to the hard compound tires, and Devil and Luke 2 Red on the mediums. So they're thinking of starting on a harder compound tire. Is that the right strategy, Kinso?
Well, it definitely depends, especially with your fuel load as well, as Pepe Fresh there takes the extremities of the circuit. And yeah, so it does depend on your fuel load as well and how long you want to go into the race, and depending if you stay out of trouble on the first lap and certainly the first handful of corners. So only time will tell us, of course, the beauty of having fuel stops in these races. It can certainly mix it up a little bit more in terms of the strategy.
Yes, it definitely can. And to be honest, I want to say I haven't really got the information to tell exactly what the strategy is going to be, because this race is not like a normal GT race where it's like, I don't know, 45 minutes, or like a normal F1 race where it's like a 45-minute race. This is a big event, and this track is very long. It's a very different type of race to any other event or any other championship league race that we have held. So strategy and management is going to be completely different, and as one of our comments said, strategy will be very interesting. It definitely will be. So we'll see how this all works out. So we got about under 2 minutes to go in this session, and then the race will start instantly. I have told our host to start it once we begin. So yeah, in the next 2 minutes, we'll be starting this race, and it will come very fast, viewers, so keep your eyes out, as there's no formation lap. That's not really how the GT lobbies work. I kind of wish there was a formation lap, but that is okay. We're going to head straight into the race. We'll get the 5 red lights out. It's a standing start, by the way, no rolling start, so standing start. And the question is, what will we see at turn 1? And 2, all that first couple heavy braking zones at the Dunlop corner, Dunlop Hill. Will we see a few incidents, or will we see some drivers leading us away? Let's see. So Keen's, have you seen any other drivers on a lap or finishing their lap might be able to improve and possibly take over as the pole position sitter for the official race?
We've got James on a lap in the Tesco liveried McLaren. Did just get onto the grass there, and he's just about to come on to the Montana straight. So we'll have to keep an eye out for him. A few drivers are back into the pit lane. We got Xiaomi, who's just started his lap as well. So quite a few drivers who've just started their lap. We got Philo, who is sat on the exit towards the long back straight.
And just to confirm real quickly, while we're looking at all these drivers' laps, qualifying is over. The drivers may be allowed to finish their laps, but no further laps will be set. These are the final laps for everybody. And that's it. Qualifying is actually over. We are ready for the race. Oh, and what is going on with the lag?
That was lovely.
That was lovely. All right, well, I think so. I think we're going to get underway. Hopefully there's no glitches. I've seen some glitches in the past at the start. Hopefully we don't have to do that. As here we go, the lights are out, and away we go. I told you it'd come fast, as it's a great start for the front runners, a great start for Shimoni, who's going to try and make the move on Peppa Fresh, who's actually already taken the lead of the race already. It's a Drent Virtual Motorsports 1-2 in the Le Mans race, as actually Shimoni goes wide. Shimoni goes wide, and now the Aston Martins might try and get ahead, and that's Gavra's now trying to get into second and third position. Aston v Subaru, as it is Drent Virtual Motorsports versus Gavra, as we come down into the Dunlop chicane as P1, P2 for the racers right now. But wow, absolutely phenomenal. As further down the grid, we got the Thumb holding off the Volkswagen car. The ERA team, Stanley, also involved with the Toyotas, as Sequit and Luke Tourette rounding off the top 10 there. But there's a lot of drivers involved in this, as I'm assuming the night will come into day. But what a start for everybody.
Yeah, and crucially, Peppy Fresh has got himself a half a second time penalty as we come into the first chicane on the long straight, and he's got Bodiva right behind him, and is looking to get into that slipstream and maybe potentially go for a move, as he's going for the move along the straight as we come up and over the rise, and the Aston Martin is going to try and out-drag the German of Peppy Fresh into the second chicane. He is on the inside as we go towards the corner. On the brakes they come and into the first part of the right and the left, and then the right-hander, and he has taken the lead of the 2 hours of Le Mans.
Great move from Bonneville there. Gavra lead the race, but Pepperfresh is right behind. Look how close he is to the Aston Martin. He's gaining. He's using the slipstream from the Aston Martin, heading down to the Mulsanne corner, and Dreadfurchel Motorsports retakes the lead of the 2 hours of Le Mans. Is the Aston going to send it to the inside? No, he is not. He sticks right behind, and he has to wait, but he's got another straight, the Indianapolis straight, heading down to Arnage section of the track, and now that Aston Martin will deploy the slipstream and the power of that car as it heads down the Indianapolis corner into the tight section of the track. I think Pepperfresh and Bonneville will be side by side. It looks like it's a close battle between the two drivers. Further down, Shimani leads away the other Aston Martin car as Vedran has also got up into P5 as the LFR car battles away with the LSR team as Sequin and Luke 2 Red are 6th and 7th, but Bonneville takes over as race leader of the 2 hours of Le Mans, and the drivers are already swapping positions as we are only on lap 1. These drivers are all going for it, and this just proves how exciting this race is about to be. Oh, and we have a spinner. What's going on? That's James. And Kingsome, did you see what happened to James? He's down in P13, so James spun, I do believe, at the Indianapolis corner. Oh,
he's almost spun again. Sorry, I was on the mute button there. He's got himself down in 13th place, an unlucky 13th for James. And he's looking like he's struggling to get back up to speed, obviously struggling in the night time as they're all coming into this twisty latter part of the lap now. And it's getting feisty for that 8th place as Diablo Devil has got into 8th place and passed more games now and is on the back of the Porsche of Luke Tourette, the LSR Porsche, as he slides out of the chicane, the first part of the 2-part chicane, onto the start-finish straight, and got himself a 1 second time penalties. Better traction for that Volkswagen out of the final chicane as they go across the start-finish line into the first turn. And Luke Tourette has lost the position to the Volkswagen.
And this is quite interesting. Porsche is owned by Volkswagen, and they're battling out on track.
They certainly are. Well, we're hopefully going to see that in a few years' time in Formula 1, of course, with Audi and Porsche.
Yeah, you're definitely correct. And even here at the Le Mans 24-hour, we could see, because the hypercar class is coming up, and Lamborghini's entered as Luke Tourette has gone off track. And that is the Porsche driver down the order. Thankfully, he's recovered, and he's only 2 seconds behind the ERA car. But, yeah, the Porsche unfortunately made a little mistake there.
As Squit is right behind Vedran. Vedran is going to go defensive into the first chicane of the long back straight. And who's going to be the last of the late breakers? It was Vedran with those brake lights lighting up a little later. He has the inside now, did go deep into that corner. It looks like Squit is going to get a better exit. He does, and now gets into the slipstream. And hopefully it's going to give him some straight line advantage as we come down to the second chicane. But it's looking like that Toyota is holding its own on the straight in this drag race towards the second chicane.
Well, Sequit is right behind Vedran as they come into that particular corner, and I've seen a lot of drivers send it to the inside at the Mulsanne corner, which is coming up, and I think that Porsche might be able to get involved in this battle. We also have the ERA car, Diablo Devil, so we could have 3 different drivers in the fight, and we are getting that. We might have a 3-wide moment here. Yes, we are. 3 wide between these 3 drivers. 3 different teams going for it. Sequit gets ahead. Is Diablo Devil going to get ahead of Sequit, though, as we come down to the Mulsanne corner? Sequit tries to defend. Diablo Devil's looking for the overtake. He goes for it to the inside. Oh, and Vedran!
He's in the wall!
What happened?
He's in the wall there. I don't know if he made contact, but he got a little bit unstable under braking, and he's caused himself to really harshly hit that inside wall before the hairpin.
Oh, that's incredibly unfortunate.
As well. we're seeing Devil and Squid still going at it. Devil is trying to hold on to that 5th place.
And he does for now, actually. Sequit gonna have to wait a little bit longer to make that move on Devil as the Volkswagen now moves into P5. ERA now into the top 5, which is great to see that. But Sequit gonna look to put LSR into the top 5 as they are now serving their penalties. Actually, everyone is serving their penalties at that particular section of the track. But I want to move back up to the front runners now. Look at the gap that Bonneville's got to Peppa Fresh. Gavra leading away of this Le Mans race, the 2 hours of Le Mans. Peppa Fresh in P2, Bonneville in P1. Can the Dread Virtual Motorsports retake the lead in the next few laps, or is it going to be down to strategy?
It may come down to strategy. The Brit is certainly pulling away from 2nd place now and looking really comfortable in that Aston Martin as he comes into the Dunlop chicanes, and it looks like the night is turning to day now, and it may give the drivers a little bit of a respite. Potentially, it will really do them a big favour starting in the night time, because it'll only get easier for them as the race progresses.
Yeah, that'll be great. Night is officially over, so we'll be able to see the cars a lot easier, which is great news for us here on the visual side, and for the drivers as well. They want visibility, and the night, I'm sure, is very difficult, but that's part of racing. You know, that is part of racing. But we still have that battle for 5th. Look at this battle forming in between Sequit and Devil, as the ERA car and the LSR car possibly going side by side, Porsche v Volkswagen, as we come down into the end of the Dunlop corner. Sequit right behind. He's got to have that long straight down to the first Mulsanne chicane. And Kingtom, I want to ask you real quickly. I don't know if you have any experience with the Porsche car, but do you know if that car is pretty quick in a straight line?
I don't know, but it is looking like it's certainly been quick in a straight line. That Aston, though, certainly looking pretty strong on the Mulsanne straight. Yeah, but I'm sure the Porsche is definitely more suited to the corners naturally, as they are going side by side into the hairpin now. Into the chicane, into the first part of the chicane. Sequit gets back through. It's a really good battle for 5th place at the moment.
It really is. Yeah, this is awesome. And Diablo Devil's going to come back at him into the second half of the straight, as Sequit going to move down to P6, but he's going to have another opportunity to go for the move, and here he goes to the outside line of the ERA car. And I'm curious if 8,000 RPM is going to start chasing after his Luke to Red, actually looking for the move on 8,000 RPM. And we'll see how this works out as more games in these second ERA cars also going for the over. Oh, what happened?
There was a big slide there from 8,000 RPM. He was lucky to be able to get that back under control, but that was certainly a big drift into the second part of the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that. That was not good, but they did recover, so that's good. But that was close. That was a close moment for those drivers there. But a three-way fight forming in here between LFR, LSR, and ERA. Looking really strong right now. Luke to Red looking for that overtake on 8,000 RPM. And we'll see if Luke to Red will be able to get past the British driver, as more games will also be looking to get past as well and move ERA into both cars in the top 7, which I'm sure would be great for them. As Sequit going for the overtake again on Diablo Devil, who spins the car a little bit there, gets a little bit loose on the exit of the particular corner, but he does continue on.
So he is certainly going strong at the moment. In 5th place, they both are, of course, with Sequit right behind, being able to keep up with each other. And actually, Luke to Red in 7th place is actually not too far behind, and maybe really gain back some time. Sorry, I meant 8,000 RPM is still within striking distance of Sequit and Devil ahead of them as they come into the twisty section of the Le Mans 24-hour circuit.
Oh, and real quickly, we have the 2 race leader into the pit lane. Bonneville and Peppa Fresh are into the pits. It's all down to strategy now between these two as Dread Virtual Motorsports comes into the pits. Bonneville also into the pit lane, keeping an eye on both cars there as they are exiting, getting fuel as well, as we have the second Dread Virtual Motorsports car also into the pit lane. Very interesting to see that as both Subarus into the pits, and they're getting a lot of fuel.
Devil as well.
Oh, you're right.
Diablo Devil as well. He's on the medium tyres at the moment. May go on to the softs, of course. The tyres will change throughout the race depending on how long the stints are going to be. Of course, we're only just over 10 minutes into this Le Mans race, and the pit lane is getting pretty lively now.
Yeah, it is. We're seeing a lot of pit stops.
As the sun is certainly coming up, and it's getting quite bright at the start of the lap at the Dunlop curves.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it is absolutely phenomenal to see that that come. That's part of the spirit of Le Mans. You know, I remember watching the race at midnight here, and of course I'm on a different time zone, and I remember seeing the sun coming up, and that was just, I don't know, that feeling. It's absolutely phenomenal here at the 24 hours of Le Mans. It's just that racing spirit from night to day. These cars are pushing to the absolute maximum. Of course, they're on a different time, so there's only 2 hours instead of 24 hours, which is a significant difference. But yeah, still, it is a very intense situation, and I'm sure these drivers will be feeling just a bit of relief that the sun is coming out and gives them more clearance to come ahead. You know, we'll see. But yeah, the sun is definitely coming out. You can see it just on the sunrise. As I'm sure we'll get more notice of it in due time. But let's take a look at strategy, because we got Raffaello in the Aston Martin car. Gavra pit one of their cars, Bonneville, who now comes out in P3, and Raffaello has stayed out. Now, was that the best strategy to pit one car now and have the other car stay out?
Potentially. We don't know how long he's going to run. Don't know how much fuel he's got left on board, and I'm not too sure. He's maybe just trying to get a little bit of an overcut. Maybe, of course, it's a long lap, so a lot of time to gain and lose. There's a spit of flame from that Aston Martin as he's heading back west again, and that sun is certainly going to start coming through the visor of that Aston Martin driver, Philo. Certainly some close battles on track at the moment. Bonneville is going past the American Seguet in the Alpine Peugeot, and there's a little flash of lights there from the American as he went past. Maybe a little in the Porsche, not the Alpine. He's got himself a 6.5 second time penalty to his name at the moment.
Yeah, he does. I'm sure he'll be serving that in a moment's time, as he's P3 right now, yet to pit in this Grand Prix. Same with Raffaello and more games. I'm also curious, let's talk about CSR right now. The two Alpine Peugeot cars, as they have that Alpine color, Alpine livery, as Betham and Stanley. We haven't seen too much from them in this race. It's been a difficult start for CSR, but I can see them slowly coming through the field. We know how quick they are. They're currently leading the LSR Championship 1 and 2 right now. What do you say about CSR? Do you think they'll be able to come back into this race, maybe fight for a top 5, maybe even a podium?
They're a little bit of the way behind the drivers ahead. They are certainly going to have to get their foot down, but they are in tandem at the moment, and hopefully they can work together with a little bit of a slipstream to catch up on the drivers ahead. But of course we've still got a long way to go, and I'm not sure if we do get safety cars here, Jonah. I'm not too sure about that one, but certainly time to be made up, and in this race is we're only just over 15 minutes into the race.
Yeah, I don't believe we have any safety cars to answer your question. I'm not exactly sure about that, though.
Betham is off the road there and reset back to track.
Oh, no problem. We gotta capture all the info and all the drama happening on track. What happened with Betham? Did he spin or something?
he semi-spun, he got himself onto the gravel. It was in the forward chicane, I think, at the end of the lap, in the final few turns of turns 32 and 33 onto the start-finish straight. But yeah, looks like he's got himself back on track, but maybe a little bit of a commentator's curse there, getting back into the front pack. Just after that, he's obviously caused himself a bit of an incident of his own making.
That's unfortunate, but I'm sure he'll come back stronger. Currently down in P6, looking to get up into a top 5 position. Stanley, the leader of the 2 CSR drivers, currently P4. Looking for a good result in today's race for the CSR team. And I'll be hoping to vote them. Hopefully they get a good result. It's part my league, so we'll see if Stanley and Betham will be able to get a good result for the Peugeot cars. But yeah, 2 things to mention real quickly. It seems that there was a few drivers that had some connection issues. I do believe we had 2 drivers that unfortunately got lagged out of the game or something like that. Sometimes that can happen. I don't know if they can rejoin. It's unfortunate, guys. I know, unfortunately, it's just kind of how it goes sometimes. I don't know if GT will be fixing that anytime soon or something like that. But yeah, we move on. Another thing I quickly want to mention is the skies. It is now officially day. It is now officially morning, somewhere around 6:30, I'm assuming. As Betham, we're riding on board with in the Peugeot, you can definitely see that it is no longer night, and good news for us because we can see a lot better.
Yeah, it certainly does. Now, we don't answer your question on the best liveries. I don't think we've got everyone in the lobby anymore, unfortunately. I think the Dram as well is unfortunately left. We've still got 8,000 RPM in the Kinder Toyota livery, and yeah, hopefully we're going to keep the drivers we have left for the duration of the race. Yeah,
well, yeah, I guess
obviously it'd be a light decision. The only thing that comes to mind, if you I think it'd just be too much of a hassle. It's a shame, maybe just a red flag and try and get the drivers back in and just reset from the order we have now. But obviously that might just be a little bit too much of a too much of a longevity thing to actually do. But it is a shame that some drivers have left us.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I think it's just the glitch. Sometimes the game does that. It's unfortunate. I don't think we'll be able to red flag the session to get them back in just due to connection and just communication would be quite difficult. But yeah, it's unfortunately it's how it is. But we move on. Still got a lot of racing going on right now. Rafilo in that Aston Martin, 7 seconds behind Peppa Fresh, as I do believe Shimoni has moved down to 4th, or maybe that was just me looking. I thought Rafilo moved up a position. Did he?
He has done, I think, yeah, because he pitted a little bit later. He's got himself into 3rd now as he starts his 6th lap.
Fascinating. So I wonder where... Oh, yellow flag? What has happened? Oh, that's Peppa Fresh. One of the Dreadful Motorsports going slowly. A spin possibly. There goes Rafilo. Oh, and there's contact!
And Peppa Fresh is now facing the wrong way and got himself back onto the circuit. I'm not sure how far back Stanley is. He's a little bit too far back, so he's going to come back out in 3rd, and now he's going to be on the charge for that Aston Martin of Philo in the Philo Engineering yellow and orange Aston Martin. But yeah, that was a real heartache there for the German.
Drama for Dreadful Motorsports and Gavra Racing, as 2 have made contact. I don't think there was any damage, as we do have the light damage on this session, but I'm sure the 2 teams will be discussing that in due time once the race does end. And we had a question that come in that says, do we have damage? Yes, we do. We have light damage on these cars. It didn't look like there was any major damage to the incident between these 2 cars, so I don't think there's any damage, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if either the Aston or the Subaru comes into the pit lane for for racing. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I don't think he, if it was damage, it would be minor damage because there was no one that hit the wall or anything like that. But Philo does have a 1.5 second time penalty. How are the time penalties introduced, Jonah? Do we know? Is it in the pit stops, or is it just? I assume there would be no other way to do it.
Oh, how are they served?
Yeah.
There's a zone on track. So there's a zone on track. I think it's right after Arnage. It's right before the Porsche curves, where the car automatically serves the penalty for the distance that it was given. So for instance, if I want to find someone that has a penalty, that would be Diablo Devil. He's gonna have to. The car will automatically slow down to that particular section of the track, and then it will go again once the penalty has been served.
Yeah, I just think I've just seen it with Philo actually. So that's an interesting one. It gives Pepperfresh actually a chance to claw back some time, which he has, and he's now within his sight. So hopefully you'll give him the motivation to get back up. He might have to do a little bit of a Lewis Hamilton inspired drive like he did today at the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, he might have to. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. As we have a few comments coming in that they're asking where a few drivers were. I think one said, "Where's Shimoni?" Shimoni down in P10. Maybe I missed it, but what happened to Shimoni? Did he pit or something like that?
Shimoni.
He's down in P10, I do believe.
I'm not too sure what happened with him. I didn't actually catch that, unfortunately. As he's going to go into the penalty zone on the circuit and be forced to decelerate. He's got a second to do that. Not too long, but it feels like a lifetime for a driver. More games, he's got 4 seconds, and he's got Squit just behind him, so he's going to be able to get past, and has done. And Shahomi's going to be able to close that gap as well, as he only had a 1 second time penalty to serve, so has closed the gap by 3 seconds to more games.
So that's good for Dread Virtual Motorsports, as one of their cars will be able to get up into a higher position possibly, but that still doesn't really answer the question, what happened to Shimoni? We were discussing that, and I don't know. Both of us were kind of confused. What happened?
Not too sure, to be honest, as Stanley's in the pits, and Shahomi actually is just got past the Volkswagen of more games.
Oh, that's great.
They're fighting for position now as they come into the final chicanes, the 4 chicanes, and the Volkswagen goes on the inside and takes back that 6th place, has the inside line for the final 4 chicane onto the start finish. A little squirrely on the exit, really trying to warm up those rear tyres, and now has moved up on 8,000 RPM. It's in the pits. I think it's actually a lap down on the other drivers now, so there's drivers already gotten lapped, and there's contact between More Games and Shahomi. The elbows are out between the Irishman and the German as they come through the Donop chicane and down towards Tessy Rouge and onto the Mortam Straight.
Well, this is good news for Dread Virtual Motorsports, as they will have Shimoni possibly in a top 6 position. So he's making his way through the field, like you mentioned, maybe in a Hamilton drive like he did in Spain today. But we'll see. Actually, he's going to make that move now. Look at the power of the Subaru car as he sails past More Games and up into 6th position now. So that's good news for Shimoni. More Games will be down to 7th now. And that Volkswagen-inspired car as Stanley and 8,000 RPM and I do believe Diablo Devil all came into the pit lane.
So this is going to be interesting for those drivers who have got themselves into the pit lane. As you said, Shahomi has certainly got the straight line speed on that Volkswagen.
Yeah, it seems like this.
Sorry, we see Pepe Fresh as well. Sorry, he's getting ever closer to that Peugeot Alpine.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he could be making the overtake on Betham, and if I'm not mistaken, Betham has yet to pit in this Grand Prix, so Pepe Fresh might have the better tires. Oh, there he goes, up into third already.
And the race leader has dived into the pits. There is going to be a change of the lead. It's Philo now staying out. He's going to take the lead. The medium tyres are on at the moment for Bonive. Keep butchering that name, to apologise, as he now runs into the pit box. And I'm not sure how much fuel he's going to put on board and what tyres he's going to go on. I'll have to wait and see which ones he goes on to.
Well,
updated just yet.
Yeah, it has not yet. We'll find out in a moment if he's going to be putting up like maybe more than 30 laps of fuel. We'll see.
So we've still got a pretty close battle between Xiaomi and More Games. And actually at the back, Devil, Stanley and 8,000 RPM are already very close together, with the LFR car in the lead on that panel.
Yeah, this is good. This is good news. It's actually Diablo Devil will move past Stanley, who will have to serve that penalty. But yeah, 8,000 RPM, looking for a good result for LFR. Trying to get up there. That'll be great news for the LFR team. I'm hoping that LFR get a good result, as I usually commentate for you guys, so I want to see you guys do well.
Yeah, hopefully, and of course, as you're on the LGE channel, if you're joining us from other leagues and not watched before, please check out Thursday's race. And if you don't want to check out the full race, please check out the last lap of the Belgian Grand Prix from Thursday. It is almost, as we say on our Instagram and other social medias, it almost gave you a heart attack, Jonah.
It really did. It was very intense. Probably one of the craziest ends to a Grand Prix. I think it was on the final corner. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was on the final corner where something dramatic happened. So that was very close. Very close. Yeah, definitely, viewers, go check that out. We actually streamed 5 different days of the week here on LGE. 2 days of LSR and 3 days of LFR. And all 5 days produced some incredible racing. And of course, we have little events like this that we're doing. Of course, oh, it's 8,000 RPM, goes off the track a little bit. He's having to save the car. Diablo Devil is now going to get up into 6th position. Thankfully, 8,000 saves the car, but does lose the position in the process.
So, just seeing Betham, who came out towards the back of the field, just behind 8,000 RPM, got a bit of a gap to close up.
He does have a bit of a gap, you're right, but he is gaining time, and he came out in TA on fresher compound tires than 8,000, so I think Betham's probably going to target a top 5 finish in today's race. But we'll see. Also, what happened to Sequit?
I think he's been lagged out as well.
Oh, no.
If it does carry on, Jonah, I think we might have to make that decision I said before. Because if we get too low, we've quite a long way to go.
Yeah, you're right. We may need to pause the race and come back if it's, like, going to continue like this. It's unfortunate. But I don't know.
Yeah, but obviously it gives them a chance to come back into it.
We'll see. I don't know, because at the same time, it also shows that 10th position is missing, so it might be that Sequit's still in the race, and it just shows that he's not? I don't know. Sometimes this game can be a little laggy.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. Just check the Discord server potentially and see what's happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we've only had 2 lagged out cars so far, unfortunately. And if Sequit's the 3rd, Of course, that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
so Vedran and Luke to Red has lost connection as well, and a few other drivers.
That's unfortunate. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now, we're focusing on the racing. We'll see if anything changes, if they decide to possibly change anything. But we see a nice onboard with the Aston Martin Gavra car as Rafilo comes out in second position, right behind his teammate, Bonival, in the Gavra Aston Martin car. But you can see the driver in there shifting and doing all the mechanics to make that car work, which is something you don't get that often, especially like in a Formula 1 car on that. I would like to see a bit of a more onboard on other games.
Yeah, it's certainly some of the camera angles are really good in GT7, and some of us I do hope in the new F1 game there might be some extra additions like they have in GT7.
Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, with the F1 2022 game coming out, maybe we'll see some more camera angles with that game as well. And of course, there's other games like I said, of Corsa, Project Cars. Those are some other unique games, and I'd like to do an event on that at some point on either one of those or something else like that.
So, I'm just seeing at the moment, Bonive is in the lead, and the two Aston Martins are 1-2 at the moment. And, it's a Brit 1-2 and a German 3-4 at the moment, Jonah.
It is, you're right. As yeah, it seems like these guys are really pulling off some incredible results right now. As it seems Direct Virtual Motorsports and Gavra are really leading away this grid and showing that they got a lot of pace.
As we see him come over the rise, the leader of the pack coming into the hairpin and back on himself in the Indianapolis straight.
Well, Peppa Fresh is 11 seconds away from Rafilo. Direct Virtual Motorsports can do this. They can take the win today, but Gavra showing up that they have some incredible pace as well. And I have seen a lot of comments coming in saying of some great support for Direct Virtual Motorsports as well as some other teams as well. But just want to say, guys, thank you so much for your support on this event, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. This took a lot of time to prepare. We actually started planning this in February of this year, and this event has been coming up pretty much every single week, and little things have been adjusted, and now we've finally come to this with an event of this magnitude, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see this, and I hope we can do more events like this in the future. Maybe a third edition of the 2 Hours of Le Mans. I want to try and make this a reoccurring event. That would be pretty cool, but we'll find out how that all works out. So I wonder if Gavra are going to do a change in leadership of the Grand Prix. Is Bonival maybe going to go down to second? Maybe they have Rafilo go up into first of the Grand Prix for a while, because the thing is that they got 2 cars in the race lead. Are they going to allow them to just maybe have it out, maybe just fight it for the race victory? Or are they going to do a little bit of a strategy, a team strategy, to maybe get the best result for the team? What's your thoughts on that?
Not too sure. I suppose the team orders will come into play if Philo does start catching. Would hope for them to race, as the race has gone a little bit static at the moment, gone a bit stable. And some gaps are forming, but of course these 2 Aston Martins are still relatively close together and showing some really consistent pace as well, I must say.
Yeah, you're right. There has been a pretty big separation between the field. Not a lot of overtaking going on, but you know, that's kind of how it works sometimes in the real Le Mans race and the World Endurance Championship and IMSA as well, of these races where it kind of becomes these drivers kind of, I don't know how to explain it really, but yeah, they kind of separate for a bit and then come back, and it's kind of how that is. It's a different sort of racing. Oh, and that is 8,000 RPM off the track.
Oh no, and he's got to get himself back on track. It's Stanley is coming through now and just squeezes past, and it was lucky enough to not get in an instant there, and more games can close up a little bit of ground, but of course it's not enough for him to really get in the fight just yet, as 8,000 RPM is still struggling to get the car nice and stable again and back underway, as we see Diablo Devil in the pits in that orange Volkswagen Beetle, as well as Xiaomi in the Subaru.
Very interesting, and I wonder if they're going to be able to go on a different tire set, as 8,000 RPM also in the pit lane for LFR, as 3 different teams in the pits, and more games actually should be entering this section of the track, and he might be able to get ahead of some of these drivers here. He's actually going to overtake his teammate and 8,000 RPM, I do believe, so more games will move up into 7th position and give ERA a better position in today's race, which will be great for them.
Yeah, and Diablo Devil has just come out of the pits. As it stands, more games has got a half-second time penalties to serve later on in the lap, and hopefully Diablo will be able to gain some ground back on the Irishman.
Yeah, he might be able to. That'll be quite interesting. We'll see if the ERA team decides to maybe swap drivers or do something different. We'll find out in a bit. But I want to bring it back to CSR for a moment, because they're running really nicely. 2 cars in the top 5, so they're looking really strong, and it really is a battle between Dread Virtual Motorsports and Gavra, but I'm starting to get that CSR might be coming into the fight as well.
I'm just having a think, Jonah, about these 2 up front. It's Philo is closing that gap back up again. Not too sure if it was me, I wouldn't be giving up that first place. Certainly, it is a long way to go, but you do want to try and stay in the lead if possible.
Yeah, this is something interesting. You're right. The 2 Astons leading the race, they are very close together, but maybe do they want to swap the 2 drivers? Is there a way they could do this? Maybe help their strategies a little bit more, because Pepperfresh is actually coming into the pit lane now, so he's going to come into the pits, and that actually might help out with Dread Virtual Motorsports. That might give them the advantage, and because they'll do the undercut strategy here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, especially as these 2 now are so close together. We're within a quarter of a second territory now between these 2, and this is certainly going to be a fight down the Misal straight and into the first chicane of turns 10, 11 and 12. Before that, we're going to go through Tete Rouge and on to the back straight, this long swooping curve as we go on to the road network and into this section of the track. Sorry, losing all my words now.
Well, here goes Velo actually on his teammate. There he goes, up into first, and Raffilo takes over as race leader of the 2 Hours of Le Mans, and this has worked out really nicely for the Aston Martin team and for Raffilo, and I really think they're just going at it right now, just showing that they got the pace, and Gavra really showing that they got some speed in the car. But while these 2 are fighting, Pepperfresh has pit now, and could be starting to gain time. So I think Dread Virtual Motorsports might be trying something a little different here, possibly going for a undercut strategy. But if you look between the gap from 3rd to 4th and the gap from 2nd to 3rd, it is massive. And Gavra and Dread Virtual Motorsports' Pepperfresh have really taken the lead of this Grand Prix. Now it really is a battle for 4th between the rest of the field.
So, number 65 car of Philo is leading the Grand Prix. It's, as I said earlier, a Brit 1-2 as it stands, and they're still very close together certainly getting a big toe still off his teammate, is Bonive.
And the number 5 car should be coming into view as well of Raffilo in the next few laps. I wonder if Bonneville will be making that move on Raffilo as we come down into Arnage, a very difficult traction zone of the track, as we see a lot of cars going a little bit too deep into that particular section and either messing up their lap or whatever. But Raffilo now leading away by around a second, because I do believe Bonneville got a little bit too much on the power and slid the car a little bit into the exit of Arnage, but thankfully continues on.
So, are we going to see a fight for the lead again on to the next lap? Got a little bit of time to go before that happens, as we're going through the Porsche curves at the moment. And it's a real challenge for the drivers this section. As I said before, it's a challenging circuit, and especially as it really feels like the circuit actually gets harder and harder the further it goes on. It's not a traditional circuit, as we see Bonive into the pits.
Interesting. So where is Pepperfresh? Pepperfresh is coming into Arnage now, so he's quite a ways behind the Aston Martin. But if Bonneville gets a little bit too much, or gets a lot of fuel actually, Pepperfresh might take over a second place. So that moves Dret Virtual Motorsports into a higher position. I'm riding on board with Pepperfresh. He's coming through the Porsche curves. I'm assuming trying to hurry up as fast as possible to catch up to Bonneville. But I think Bonneville will come out ahead. He's now serving the fuel, and we're just waiting for him to exit the pit lane now. We have a few comments coming in. One that says, hello. Well, hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a few people in the pits now. I think we have Bonneville, and I think we have another driver in the pits. Or never mind. Nope, we don't. I thought we had another one, but yeah, Bonneville in the pit lane. Here comes Pepperfresh now. And I think Bonneville will exit in second position, but Pepperfresh is going to be very close to that Aston Martin car, and Gavra might be worried that Dret Virtual Motorsports could come into the fight. Bonneville exits ahead of Pepperfresh by a few seconds. Bonneville and Pepperfresh, that's actually not too bad. Could come out and start chasing down that
it looks like we've got the battle for fifth hottening up. Stanley, Xiaomi, and I'm sure Diablo Devil is going to get involved as well, as he's not too far behind, about 6 seconds, which is easy for him to make up. And Stanley is going to try and pull on defence as he gets a big wiggle in the Porsche curves there. And he's looking like he's struggling in that Peugeot.
Yeah, it seems that he is, maybe with tire wear. Unfortunately, we can't see the info on his tire wear, but I've heard the Peugeot actually does pretty well on tire wear for around here. But we'll see. But Shimoni could be going for a top 5 position very soon. He's looking for that overtake, as we had a spectator that just left the session, I do believe. But Shimoni right behind Stanley, and he could be making the overtake on the Mulsanne straight, or even before, as we come down to the Dunlop corner. As up the hill, here comes Shimoni looking for the overtake. Stanley does hold P5 though, and the Peugeot driver will stay in 5th position for now. Shimoni gets a little bit too much on the exit there, spins the car a bit, but thankfully exits okay. And the gap now 0.8 of a second, and like you mentioned, what happened?
And Xiaomi actually got really out of shape there in the final part of Dunlop. He does again, and now it's brought Diablo Devil back into the fold as we come onto the Mulsanne straight, and the Diablo Devil is going to certainly have a lot of straight line speed now, as he really does now, and he's looking like he's going to go for the move. It might be a double move before the chicane as he goes from the outside to the inside, and Xiaomi now gets past as well with that great straight line speed advantage, and now gets back past Diablo Devil onto the brakes. They come now into the first part of the chicane, now onto the exit. And through the first chicane they come, and back onto the Marsan straight, and the race leader is into the pit lane.
Oh, you're right, Raffaello in the pits. Keep an eye on him. He could be exiting, maybe behind Bonneville, but look at the action going on here. This is awesome. As Diablo Devil and Shimoni going side by side down to the second chicane now. This Circuit de la Sarthe, as Shimoni will get ahead of Diablo Devil. Also, keep an eye on the battle for first. Bonneville exiting the Porsche curves. I think the Aston Martin might be able to get ahead of Raffaello. He did go for the undercut strategy, but Raffaello might be able to get back past the Aston Martin because of those tires, and he might be able to get past in the next few laps. We'll see how that works out for Raffaello, but for now, Bonneville is still behind Raffaello, and Peppa Fresh is there as well. He's closed the gap to 7 seconds, actually. Peppa Fresh is flying out there, so this could be very interesting as the battle still continues on for P5. Diablo Devil in that Volkswagen ERA car is in P5, and Shimoni right behind as well. Raffaello comes out in third, actually. He's exited behind... Oh, never mind. He comes out in second, as Bonneville will take over as race leader. I thought he came out in third, but I think
that.
Yeah.
He did say that for a second. Yeah, he's come out in second, but crucially, he's on fresher rubber as we come through the Dunlop curbs. I'm sure this is going to be a quick switch for the lead, I think, in a few moments. But as you said, Puppy Fresh is absolutely flying out there. He's got the bit between his teeth at the moment.
Yeah, this is going really well for him, and
he takes purple sector 1 as well. Pepper Fresh.
And that last lap was the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. That was fastest. He's got the gap down to 5 seconds to Raffaello. This is a three-way fight for first position. And Aston Martin and Gavra, they might be worried that Dread Virtual Motorsports might steal this win away. So they might just want to keep the grid how it is right now, because Peppa Fresh is coming into play. 4.5 seconds now is the gap between second and third position. Peppa Fresh, the German driver, is flying out there. The gap now is 3.8. This is incredible. Purple sector in sector 2 for Peppa Fresh. He's flying out there.
He certainly is, and crucially as well, Bonneville is gaining time on his teammate behind, and it potentially might leave Philo vulnerable to Puppy Fresh. He's late on the brakes into the second chicane of the Misalm straight, and it's looking like it could be a three-way fight for the lead, which is fantastic to see. Of course, exactly what we want. It is a long circuit, not too many drivers on track, but we have got a few close battles, and there's some close battles in the pit lane as well, with Diablo Devil and Stanley in the pit. Shahome stays out for another tour of this Le Mans circuit.
And Peppa Fresh has got the gap down to 1.6 seconds. Very interesting. As meanwhile, a lot of cars in the pit lane.
Yeah, 3 to be precise. More Games is a little bit far back to challenge the 2 other drivers in the pit lane. Of course, a long old pit stop in these races. Diablo Devil is now back out onto the circuit. 8,000 RPM is in the pits as well, says he's in second place. I don't think that is true. Maybe it is, as he's now dropping down the order. Stanley is now out of the pit lane, and Shahomi's got himself a 1.5 second penalty to serve, and Peppery Fresh is smelling the fumes of that Aston Martin ahead.
He is. He's right behind. He's going for the overtake, actually. Here goes Peppa Fresh round the outside of Raffaello. Here we go. Oh, he has to back out, unfortunately. Trying to get the camera angle here. There we go. As Peppa Fresh right behind Raffaello. Dread Virtual Motorsports looking for second position. And he's right on the back of the Aston Martin. They're side by side. They're side by side. As for a brief moment they were. As the Subaru looking for the overtake on the Aston Martin. Is Peppa Fresh going to wait for that first corner? No, he actually dives into the pit lane. That's interesting.
That is, you've got a long way to go. I'm not sure. He just didn't have a lot of fuel, and he crucially was on the soft tyres as well, so he was trying to gain back some ground, which I think he has done. So we're just over halfway through this 2 hours of Le Mans, or an hour and a half in the race, and a long way to go. So we'll see what happens with his strategy and how much fuel he loads up in his Subaru. And of course behind we've still got that quite close battle between Bathom and Xiaomi and Diablo Devil and Stanley as well, who have pit, and we've got to wait for Xiaomi to pit.
Oh, Bathom off the track. Bathom's made a little mistake, I do believe. He's moved down the order and unfortunately has lost a little bit of time to Shimoni there in the Dret Virtual Motorsports Subaru. As actually Shimoni's starting to lose a little bit of time actually, because I think Bathom has gotten away because Shimoni's had to serve that penalty.
Yeah, he had half a second time penalty, so that's going to help Diablo Devil, who's coming out of the hairpin at the end of the Moss Arm Straight. And Stanley is a little bit further back and got a 2-second time penalty to serve in a few moments' time.
Yeah, he does have that penalty, which is going to be unfortunate, but that's okay. We move on. So we're heading into the end game of the race. We still have a few laps to go, but yeah, we are heading into the end game. Almost done with this one, as still a lot of action, and anything can change. Will Gavra win this race? Will they take home the race here today? Or will it be Dret Virtual Motorsports? Maybe CSR? Who knows? We'll find out. The first winner of the 2 hours of Le Mans actually was Bathom. He was driving for LSR at the time, but it was different. He was driving in an LMP1 car. We had LMP1 cars in the first ever one, and he was driving for Team Toyota. But yeah, he won that race, I do believe, in the number 8 Toyota, which turned into a Group 1 championship. But yeah, this is the second edition, and I do believe we will have a first win, possibly for Gavra or Dret Virtual Motorsports or CSR. Actually, all three teams. This is their first event in the 2 hours of Le Mans race here in 2022. This is the 2022 edition, as we call it. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal this race has been, and yeah, pretty cool.
Just watching Diablo Devil coming out of the final corner now, and he's in this fight with Xiaomi and Bathom, who is now out of the pit lane. And this is actually a pit lane fight, or a pit lane exit fight, should I say, and Diablo Devil actually just gets ahead of Bathom, who's now on the fresh rubber, and hopefully this will be a battle for 4th place.
Yeah, this could be a battle for 4th place. Bathom right behind that Volkswagen. I think he will be able to overtake him in the next few laps. We'll find out. Ooh, Bathom goes a little bit wide, actually. I've noticed that Bathom is struggling a little bit either with understeer or maybe I don't know, tires.
Traction.
Oh, traction. Yeah, that could be the option as well.
Yeah, he's certainly lost a bit of ground there to Xiaomi. Hopefully he'll close up that gap. The race leader is in the pit lane, had 27 litres of fuel remaining, was on the soft tyre. We'll see what he goes on in a few moments. His teammate takes the lead of the race as he goes on to his 15th lap. So it's looking like we're going to have about a 22-23 lap race, I think, Jonah, probably something like that.
Yeah, I do believe so. Yeah, I do believe we have a little bit over 30 minutes left, and judging by the lap distance, we should have about that time, so it's all good. As Bonneville in the pit lane.
Will be interesting to see here with Papi Fresh, see where he comes. It comes in this fight for the lead, actually, after all the pit stops are concluded in this round of pit stops. Obviously, he did it a couple of laps ago. Oh, sorry, I say a couple of laps. He's still on his out lap, so this is. Bonive is just trying to cover off Pape Fresh, I think. So, and he's just come out the pits, and I think as he comes around the final chicane, the Ford chicane, and on to the start-finish once again to start his lap 15, and it's about 14 seconds back, 17 seconds back from from Pape Fresh. Is that right? Sorry, yeah, it's right, 14 seconds. And Xiaomi and Bathom are very close together now, half a second between the two of them. Shahome looks like he is going to go for the overtake now. Looks to the inside as they go down towards the Indianapolis turn. And Shahome gets through on Bethom. That's Subaru has got some serious straight line speed.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, that Subaru has got incredible speed down the straight. It's probably the fastest car here.
I think so, in a straight line. Yeah, it's the Bethom though in that Porsche, in that Peugeot Alpine, is got some really good traction out of that corner. As you come down to the Porsche curves, we've got Devil just ahead of them as well. So these drivers are quite close together on the brakes. Goes Bethom, and Shahome is going a little bit slowly there. Bethom right on the limit, right to the exit of the corner. As you go through here, get close to that wall on the right hand side into this complex sequence of S's.
It seems like the Peugeot has got better turning. It seems like it's got better speed through the corners, and it seems like the Subaru's got better straight line speed on the straights. So quite interesting.
It certainly looks very pointy, I'd say. It's very front end pointy as Shahome cuts the chicane a little bit there. Lucky not to get a penalty. I don't think he did.
Oh, he did?
We exit the final corner. Talking about he gets 2.5 second penalty. Blue flag there. Not so sure what that was about, but as I said, the Peugeot Alpine has certainly got a really good traction on exit. As it's a little bumpy there coming into the Dunlop chicane and unsettles the car under braking. And is able to get it in shape. Shahome though, he's really got one hand tied behind his back at the moment with that 2.5 second penalty.
Yeah, he does. That's going to affect his race time and effectively give the position to Bethom. We'll see. We'll see if he's able to keep ahead, but we'll find out in due time. So this will be quite interesting.
As we've got a blue flag before the race leader on the 8th place of 8,000 RPM. The actual battle for 8th place is reasonably close between More Games and 8,000 RPM. Just letting Philo through. Philo still is yet to pit. The pit stops are slightly out of sync between the front three, and it's looking like the Peppy Fresh hasn't been able to close up that gap as it stands. The gap still close between Shahome and Bethom. 3.5 seconds now to Shahome's name, so it's almost 2 hands tied behind his back now, so he's going to have to claw back most of that time. He has got a tiny bit of time in his pocket to Shahome, to Bethom, sorry, but he is certainly going to lose that 5th place in about a minute or so's time.
He will, unfortunately. That'll be unfortunate for Shimoni, as he will have to effectively get the position to Bethom, which is unfortunate, but he might be able to re-overtake Bethom, maybe onto the Mulsanne straight if he catches up to the Peugeot driver after serving that penalty. We will find out in due time about that. But a quick history about this track, viewers. I'm sure you all know the Le Mans 24-hour. Joe and myself mentioned it earlier on, that this track is famed in motorsport history, along with F1 and IndyCar. It has got many famous races. Of course, it's part of the World Endurance Championship right now, and is currently in the 2022 season, the 3rd round of the championship. Yeah, like in F1 with the Monaco Grand Prix, in Indy we got the Indy 500, in NASCAR you got the Daytona 500, and in the World Endurance Championship you got the Le Mans 24-hour, and I could go on and on and on with IMSA's Daytona 24-hour and so on. But yeah, this track definitely famed in motorsport history. Porsche holds the current leaders list of the real 24 hours of Le Mans wins. They held 19 different victories at the circuit and could make it 20 in 2023 when they enter an LMDH car, which stands for Le Mans Daytona Hybrid, and they could be going for the win, a 20th win at Le Mans, which could be quite interesting.
So, a little fact, Jonah, see if you know your stuff. Who, of course, we've known Fernando Alonso to attempt the Triple Crown, of course, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the Monaco Grand Prix victory, which he already has in his pocket, as well as the 24. and the Indy 500, which he hasn't achieved yet. But who is the only driver in history to ever have got the Triple Crown? Do you know?
Graham Hill.
Can you remember? Well done.
Yep, Graham Hill has done it. The only driver in history. Yeah, like you mentioned, Fernando, one of those drivers. Juan Pablo Montoya, another driver to attempt it as well. In the 2000s, I do believe he won the Indy 500 a few times. But yeah. Oh, interesting. We have a comment coming in. I do believe from Zayak, and I'm going to quickly read his comment if you don't mind. And you're happy to confirm this as well. So he has asked, any news on the change to the LSR format, weekly or any other weekend? In case you are all unfamiliar with the situation, there's a possibility that LSR could be going weekly instead of every other week. Joe, I actually want to get your thoughts on that. Do you think LSR, a contestant in this event, could be... do you think that's good for them to go weekly, or should it be every other week like it is right now?
I'm not too sure. I find with LFR, weekly can be a bit of an endurance in itself. So next season it's a shortened calendar for us. Next season it's going to be 16 races for all 3 days in the 22 game. It's going to finish just before the FIFA World Cup starts. But no, it is quite nice having a nice routine every week, and I know that some drivers can have a habit of forgetting which week is which for racing, so it does ease the process in that sort of way on timetable. But no, I think it has its advantages and disadvantages for both ways.
I completely agree. Yeah, and we'll have more information on that, Zayak, about the format. We should be coming out with that in the next month. But yeah, definitely something interesting. Thank you, Joe, for saying your opinion and your thoughts on the entire situation. Yeah, viewers, if you're curious to know of what LGE what they give to the community on YouTube, definitely check out our content. Like we mentioned previously, LGE does LFR and LSR content, 2 different leagues in the event today, and definitely go check those out as we race 5 different days of the week. And I'm sure a lot of you viewers are interested in the GT stuff because of the event we're watching right now. You know, it's all on GT7. So LSR does a GT division, a GT3 championship, which we are doing currently on Sundays, and LFR also does a lot of F1 content, and then of course that custom division as well with the 5 different teams, which is absolutely phenomenal. I personally commentate on that. Joe, I know you race in that one.
Yeah, I certainly find now that we had a shortened season for Thursday in season 1, and 12 races for both seasons to catch up with Monday and Tuesday, but I certainly really enjoy the difference in Thursday, and especially sort of how it's it feels sort of in a way like a bit of like five-a-side football in the UK. You know, it's just a small team kind of bit of spirit that goes on. I mean, the team that I have, we all know each other quite well from the league, so we all try and work together for the best result. I think we sort of have a little bit of a rule until the final sort of pit stops or stages of the race. We'll all try and work together to get up as a team, and then, like you saw on Thursday with me and Jason, we were sort of trying to fight for the win in the last stages of the race.
Yeah, it truly is incredible to witness that. Definitely something to watch, viewers, as LFR has that awesome division, as well as the other 2 divisions you guys run on Mondays and Tuesdays. And of course, LSR runs every other week with their divisions of the Saturday and Sunday divisions, so a lot of action. But anyway, back to the racing. Not a lot has changed. I think Peppa Fresh, 13.4 seconds to Rafilo. Rafilo just pit, and he's come out in 2nd position behind his teammate. Meanwhile, Betham and Shimoni having a good battle for P4 right now. Betham in 4th, Shimoni in P5, and Stanley in P6, actually. Stanley, 34 seconds behind Shimoni, but he might be able to take these tires long. If he takes these tires long, he might be able to join the pack there and possibly get up into a top 4 position, which would be great, but CSR running really well, both cars in the top 6, and also ERA running well, both cars in 7th and 8th position. I think 8,000 RPM might be able to get ahead of more games. It's actually just coming into the pit lane, so that'll be quite interesting. And real quickly, I'm going to go grab some water. I will be back in less than a minute, so yeah, I'll be back in a moment.
So we've still got just over 20 minutes left in this race. We're on the 18th lap for the leader as he comes into the Dunlop curves, and Pepe Fresh is now into the pit once again. I'm not sure if Shahomi's going to be anywhere close to him, but Thom is actually close to Shahomi. They won't be actually, as they're just coming into the second chicane on the back straight. And Stanley has got himself a 2-second time penalty. Not sure who Jonah is spectating at the moment. As More Games is out of the pits and has got 8,000 RPM, not too far behind. As the battle for 4th is getting closer. Pepe Fresh is in the pit lane. Maybe his penultimate stop, I would think, now in this race. Got 8 seconds between the top 2. Not sure if it's going to close up for a fight at the end. Obviously, quite a way to go. Drivers are going to start making some mistakes, I'm sure, as we see the film getting a bit tail happy through the middle section of the circuit. As I said before, that Peugeot Alpine has certainly got some good straight line speed.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back. So yeah, I was just saying about Shahomi and Thom actually the closest on track at the moment. That gap may close up. I say that actually, sorry, it's Stanley, and Stanley used to have quite a quiet race. So if I have a 2-second penalty though, so this is gonna, the gap is certainly going to extend now as Diablo the Devil goes through. And he's got some ground to make up now as Stanley.
Yeah, he does. That penalty is going to really hurt him, and he's going to move down to second. It's Shimoni now into the pit lane for Dread Virtual Motorsports.
Sorry, 8,000 RPM has just got past More Games, the fight for the last 2 places as they go into the hairpin. He's just got up ahead the LSR car, the Kinder Toyota, and he's set a personal best there in that sector of the track. Looking like he's extending that gap to More Games, just got himself a half-second time penalty as it stands.
Yeah, he does have that penalty, which is going to affect his race a bit, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes as Stanley moves into 6th because Shimoni has now dropped to 7th due to a pit stop. And this actually might be Shimoni's last stop of the Grand Prix because we have 20 minutes remaining of the session. This is coming in to the final part of this race, and this will be quite interesting. So right now it is, let's do a quick rundown of the grid before we head into,
I was going to say the race leader is into the pits, is probably for his final stop as well. As you were gone, Pepe Fresh actually pitted. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it to the end. I thought it'd be right on the cusp of sort of 20-25 minutes to go. Thought maybe he would have another one after that, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, Pepe Fresh is actually off the track.
Yeah, he's on the gravel. He's made a mistake there. And this was the time of the race where he needs to keep those mistakes at bay. And just as you left as well, I said this is part of the race now where it's really going to become a struggle for the drivers, and mistakes are going to happen for some of these drivers.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I'm assuming they're all probably feeling the heat. They're all feeling the the pressure, you know.
Sure.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, nothing there. Sorry, my headphones just came out for a second.
Oh, all good. Sorry, I thought it lagged for a second, but anyway. Well, I've seen a comment that came in that says, really enjoying this. Thank you so much. That's very much appreciated. Well, we'll continue to commentate for this event for the remainder of the race. Rafilo probably going to have to come into the pit lane in the next few laps. Probably this lap or the next lap, we'll find out. And then I think our closest battle might be between, I'd say, 8,000 RPM and more games. I think that might be our closest battle right now.
It is. More games have actually gone off the track, and he's been shown the blue flag by one of the lead cars. I think it may be the leader. No, it's not. It's second place, and it's certainly going to get interesting now between the top two. The gap is quite a distance, so I'm not sure how close it's going to be when Philo eventually does his final pit stop.
Yeah, we'll find out in probably the next few moments. I'm assuming. And we actually do have a comment coming in that says, "Does your voice get hurt after you do lawn endurance races?" Well, like commentating with enthusiasm, and that I guess goes to you as well, Joe. Does your voice maybe go out after you commentate on a very exciting race?
Depends how good the race is, I suppose.
I have the exact same thing, you know. This one's more of like a calm race, so we're able to talk just normally, and there's not too much, like, I'd say, like, huge moments, and that's kind of good, you know, in a way. But when it's like, I don't know, huge crashes on the final lap of the race where cars are spinning off into the universe, then it can be, you know, I can lose my voice or something like that. So hopefully that answered your question there. But now I actually do want to ask you a question, Keensome, before we end this race, because you said ask me in a bit, and I thought I'd ask you now since we could see all the cars. What's your favorite livery on the grid? And that also includes the LSR Porsche that unfortunately wasn't able to make it to the end of the race, and the NACS McLaren as well, and the rest of the cars that weren't able to make.
I have to admit, I really quite like the. It's a bit busy, but I quite like the Subaru livery actually. The car that Pepe Fresh is driving. I do quite like that kind of grey with the teal and white. Almost reminds me actually of the Extreme E Rosberg Extreme Racing or something like that. His team's called. They've got a similar livery to that. So yeah, I'd say with Subaru actually.
That's a good choice. You know, the Subaru car is a really neat car. I actually really like that. And, yeah, that's a really good-looking car. And I like the colors.
But, of course, it does. The actual car itself does make a difference to the livery, I think, is what makes a big difference.
Good point. Yeah, the car looks pretty neat. I like the Subaru as well. Yeah, if it's not, like, I guess, the best-looking car, the livery's not going to really show as much. But yeah, I think the car and the livery looks great. So, Dread Virtual Motorsports, well done. Livery of the day.
Yeah, livery of the day. And,
driver of the day instead of it's livery of the day instead of driver of the day.
Not too sure. Okay, so we've got 8,000 RPM and Stanley in the pit. Stanley's just come out. He's in that battle with Shahoni at the moment. I think he may have one more stop. It's a shame we can't see what sort of fuel they're running whilst they're out on track and in the pit lane. Of course, Pepe Fresh right on the limit in that Subaru, coming through the final sections of the track.
And he's going to start lap 20 of his race, so that'll be great. And we just have 15 minutes remaining of the session, a little bit over 15 actually. As yeah, I think this is kind of how it's going to finish, unless anything major happens. I think Aston Martin have pulled off an incredible job today. Unless Pepe Fresh is able to gain a lot of time, maybe take second away, I think it's going to be two Gavra cars finishing 1 and 2, and a Dread Virtual Motorsports on the podium.
It's certainly looking that way. We're going to wait and see if Philo pits again. Surely he is going to, and he's going to have to do a qualifying session stint at the end, I think, to try and win the race. He'll be able to go on to the softest compound at the end and just obviously just try and judge the field as best as possible to have the lightest and grippiest car at the end of the race.
Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be interesting. You do have a point there. I guess we'll wait and see, really. We still have a few minutes remaining of the session, so still got some time. But, yeah, we'll see what happens, you know? We did have a comment that came in, I do believe, from Zayak, and he said that, do either of us race much on GT7? Do you race on the GT7 video game?
I haven't for a little while. It's something I'm going to try and get a little bit more into, I think, especially when LFR finishes on Monday and Tuesday in a couple of weeks. But no, I really like driving GT cars. Does somewhat feel a little bit more organic, you know what I mean, with and especially the game as well, to be fair, as the actual feel on a wheel is much nicer, I have to admit.
Definitely, I absolutely agree with that. I'm in a similar boat as you. I'm kind of waiting for the LSR season to finish, and then I'll get more into the GT part of it. But been quite busy, so I haven't raced too much. But since LSR has a season, I reserve every once in a while in that. But I'll tell you the truth, viewers. I will tell you the truth. Because I was planning on hosting today's session, I didn't do the books in time, really. And so yesterday I spent the entire day, from the morning till the night, just doing the books over and over and over. And I was so tired after that. I was very tired, but it was all worth it to do this event. So yeah, to tell you the truth, that's kind of what happened yesterday. That was my Saturday, was doing GT7, doing the books, the cafe books that Luca gives you. But a lot of drivers are pitting. Rafilo into the pits, and Bonival is coming out round the final couple of corners. We could still have a lead change here as Rafilo getting fuel. I think he will come out in P1, but it could be really close between these two drivers.
It certainly could be. He must be coming to the end of his stop now. It says Buffon is took the lead. He really jumps over the curves at the final corner. The Ford chicane. I think he is actually going to take the lead on Philo. But it could be a race to the finish. We've got Pepe Fresh getting closer as well, and Philo is now out the pits. There is a bit of a gap. He's got 10 seconds to make up, and he's got 12 minutes to do it. He's probably got about 3 or 4 laps to go. When the timer goes, Jonah, do we just finish on that lap? So when the leader finishes that lap, that's the end of the race.
Yeah, so it's similar to F1. We actually have it where like when the leader finishes, the race finishes once the clock ticks down to 1:30, and then once everyone else finishes, then the race finishes. So it gives some time for everyone to complete their laps. It's exactly like the real Le Mans race, and it's exactly like the F1 race as well. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, interesting. So the closest, I think, at the moment is 5th and 6th, so we might see a bit of a race at the end between these two. But that Subaru is so quick in a straight line, not really seeing too many visual advantages to the Volkswagen. Looks quite skitty under braking, actually, as it seems to struggle to get the car stopped. So Pepe Fresh is in the pits as well, and he's quite a long way back now from Philo, so it certainly is a 2-horse fight, and that time is coming down, Jonah, quite a lot between the top two.
It is, yeah, I noticed that. 6.5 seconds is the gap. Look how fast he's going. Raffaello might be able to grab this. This is coming down to the final 10 minutes of the race, and we're getting a really close fight for the race victory between these two Gabra racing cars. And I would say, if I was Gabra, I'd just let them fight, because they got a huge gap to the third place car, and they have the availability to do that. So this is great. And also keep an eye, while this battle's happening for first and second, there's a massive battle going on for fifth as well, because Stanley is starting to gain the time on Diablo Devil, as Diablo Devil is just up the road. There you can see the Peugeot in the background, and Shimoni is just up the road as well. So there is a nice battle going on between 5th, 6th, and 7th position. While it is quite a big gap, they are pretty close together, and there could be some position changes towards the end of this Grand Prix. So this is going to be very interesting, as also there is a great battle going on between 8th and 9th. More games than 8,000 RPM switching positions. Could we see the ERA car get ahead of the LFR car? We'll find out in due time. But wow, the gap now is 3.6 seconds. Raffaello is gaining a lot of time on Bonfilo.
He is, and he's just about to get past the back marker of Stanley in that Peugeot Alpine, and it's now 2.7. Those fresh tyres are certainly gaining him some time and a big advantage for the second place Aston, the number 65 car. Philo Engineering Aston Martin, as we're coming into the final handful of corners. To the final 2 corners now, actual 4 corners, sorry. Bonneville is actually in the pits again.
Okay.
So we see these two actually pit one more time. Are we going to see Philo pit once again? Not too sure about that one, as he did have 50 litres of fuel. I just don't think he had enough to get to the end, but is that going to be the same for Philo? I kind of hope so, to be honest. So we see a bit of a squabble for the victory.
Yeah, we might see that, actually. This is going to be interesting. I did not expect them to pit. I mean, Bonneville in that Aston Martin Gavra car is pit and will definitely come out ahead of the Dret Virtual Motorsports Subaru. But this could get really interesting, as we are now in lap 22. As 1 minute, or sorry, we have 8 minutes remaining of this race. And that basically means we have about 3 laps to go, 2 to 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, 3 laps.
Yeah, I do believe so.
I think 3. So number 5, Aston Martin, is now back out onto the circuit, 31 seconds behind. I do have a feeling that Philo may have to pit one more time, and if he has any doubts, Jonah, he needs to pit this lap really, because if he goes any later, he's probably going to lose this race. So we'll have to find out in a couple of minutes when we get towards the final stages of the lap. And Diablo Devil has not made up too much ground just yet.
He's actually lost a little bit of time to Shimoni and Stanley as well. Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Volkswagen driver, but Stanley will be gaining time. This will be good for CSR, as Betham looking to finish in 4th. That'll be a good result for CSR, as Stanley looking to finish in 6th or 7th, somewhere around there. We will find out. So, viewers, this is getting intense. The question now is, what is Raffaello going to do? He exits the Mulsanne corner now and is coming down to the Indianapolis corner and Arnage. As we are about midday into the session, we've gone from day to night, back to day, and we're going to end this race in the day as Raffaello or Bonneville, which one will win the race? Predict down in the comments below, viewers. Let us know who you think is going to be winning this race. Is it Raffaello or Bonneville? Let us know down in the comments section down below. So we got 22 laps into this race. Like Joe mentioned, around 2 to 3 laps remaining, as Raffaello is gaining time.
He is gaining time. Bonneville is had a bit of an incident. He's got a half-second time penalty. We'll see if Philo, who's got a back marker just ahead of him, of Diablo Devil now, as he is flashing the lights, indicating he wants that Volkswagen to get out of his way. and he should do in a few moments. As we come through this fast left-hander, against the wall is the Aston Martin there. Gave it a little bit of a kiss, got away with it, and is now just gone past that back marker. Did have to wait a little while as Diablo Devil goes a little bit wide there, and Philo also got a little out of shape, but is able to keep it intact. He's not pit, so does that mean that the race is going to end like this? We've got just under 5 minutes to go. I think we're going to have this. This is probably going to be the penultimate lap, Jonah, I think.
Yeah, I think this is the penultimate lap of the race. As Diablo Devil is into the pit lane, Stanley comes out in 6th, actually, as Rafilo, is he on new tires? Because he is gaining so much time. He's now set the fastest lap out of the last couple of laps. 3 minute 36 is his current lap time. He's gaining time on his teammate now. Is Rafilo on, like, some sort of charge right now? I mean, he is. He's trying to pull away from his teammate, of course, to win this race. He's now fastest in the first sector. Rafilo, does he have fresh tires? I don't know.
Sure, I can't remember the last time he pitted. It's all starting to become a bit of a blur as he's catching up to the 5th place car. Shahomey now. Blue flags being shown for the Subaru car. And if we're on the penultimate lap, which we think we are now, with the time left on the clock, is he going to pit this lap? I'm not too sure about that one. If he does pit this lap, he might not have another lap to go. It's going to be interesting. Not too sure what is going to happen as Shahomey now gets out of the way to let the Aston Martin go through. And now he's got a bit clear track ahead of him. Shahomey is Rafilo is gaining time, so I wouldn't presume he's going to pit. So the field is definitely spread out now. I don't think we're going to see, unfortunately, any battles on track for the rest of this race, unless Rafilo pits on this lap. Not sure if that is going to be the case. He's got about 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in his lap. We've got 2 minutes to go. I'm not sure what it's going to be. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure if he crosses the start-finish line in the pit lane to start another lap. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't think you would want to pit on the final lap of the race. I mean, Alex Albon did, but.
No, I know it wouldn't make much sense, but I'm not sure if he's got the fuel to go to the end. That's the
right.
That's the question, isn't it?
That is a very good point. Yeah, it's possible that he could run out, but that would be a huge shame. We'll find out.
He's actually got a quarter of a. I can see it now on the bottom left. He's got a quarter of a tank of fuel remaining. No, I think he's. I think that's it. I think he's going to go to the end. He's still got tyre. He's still got tyres left. He's still got a fair bit of grip remaining, but he's got a quarter of a tank. I think it's going to be a bit touch and go though, Jonah, I have to admit, because they have been pitting sort of every 4 or 5 laps. So I think it's going to go right to the cusp actually with his fuel.
Well, let's find out. This could be a very dramatic end to the race if something happens with fuel. The gap's still increasing between first and second position. Here's where we could see anything change. Nope, Rafilo stays out.
He's going to the end.
Fascinating.
So unless he makes a big mistake, which he doesn't have to, this can really be just a Sunday evening drive now to the end. He has all the pressures off his shoulders. I really thought the Aston of Bonive was going to get the win here. He seemed pretty comfortable for the majority of the race. It's obviously the best result for this Aston Martin team for their league. But Rafilo is really put on a strong performance now and been super consistent in the latter stages of this hour and a half race. As the clock ticks to 1 hour 30, so we are now on the final lap of this endurance race. And It has, even though we haven't had a huge amount of action on track, and unfortunately had a lot of drivers finish, as that is it for Benive. He has seen the checker now, so he is finished in second place, along with 6th and 7th for Stanley and Diablo Devil. So it is going to be a swan song lap, I think, for Rafile now.
Well, what a result for Gavra today. Bonneville will take second position. What a result for Dret Virtual Motorsports as well, as we see Peppa Fresh coming around the final couple of corners. A podium for them. Very, very impressive stuff from both teams. Peppa Fresh comes home for third position and gives Dret Virtual Motorsports a podium. The thumb for Peugeot, it'll be P4 and P6 for the CSR team, and I'm sure they'll be very happy with that, as Dret Virtual Motorsports will take home third and fifth. What a result for them as well. And what a result for ERA, Diablo Devil, and More Games, 7th and 9th. Some good points on the table with LFR, 8,000 RPM, coming around the final corner to finish off in 8th position. And I think we're just waiting for our race leader, Rafilo, and pretty much nothing will change. The Thumb and Shimoni will also finish up their race, and Rafilo will win the race. We're just waiting for this to end, as Rafilo comes round the Indianapolis corner into Arnage. He will come in a moment's time. But I gotta say, what a race. Absolutely phenomenal. Dret Virtual Motorsports take home P3. Gavra take home second and first. A 1-2 finish for the Gavra team. We won't confirm it until we cross the line. But, yeah, this is how it's gonna finish. So Rafilo coming around the Porsche curves now. This is it, the home stretch for the Gavra Racing driver. What a race from him today. He has really shown his pace, stayed out at the end, and it has been a battle between the two Gavra Racings for first and second. And Dret Virtual Motorsports also joined the fight during the race. A lot of different teams in the fight for the win today. But it really was a dominant victory for Gavra, wouldn't you say?
It certainly has been. The one thing to just mention really quickly is he is right on the limit of fuel now, so if there had been one more lap he would have surely had to pit, as he comes to the final 4 corners with Botham just ahead of him.
Oh, and what happened there? I think the session has already ended. Oh yeah, because it allowed everyone else to finish. But
Oh. That was a little anticlimactic.
I guess, yeah. But that concludes things here, as we see the race victory for Rafilo. Unfortunately, we didn't see him cross the line, but he did. And Rafilo wins the 2 Hours of Le Mans event presented by LGE and LSR. What a race. Gavra, a dominant victory, a consistent drive, and he actually played that to absolute perfection. Rafilo wins the second ever race here today. As you can see his car doing donuts in the background there, celebrating the win, as Gavra Racing take home the win here at the 2 Hours of Le Mans. The International Endurance League race has been completed. Dret Virtual Motorsports take home P3 and P5, another commanding result for them, and a great result for CSR, ERA, and LFR as well. Unfortunately, a few other teams weren't able to finish, but I'm sure they'll come back stronger in the next event. But that concludes things here today. I think that might end it off.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it certainly will. And the Aston Martin driver just showing us off, seeing us off in style there by showing off his donuts on turn 1.
Yeah, it seems so. Well, yeah, I think that's gonna do things here today. What a race. Fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. And Keensum, I think this is where we're going to sign off. So I just want to get your thoughts on that race. Just what was your thoughts on the second ever 2 Hours of Le Mans race?
It was really interesting to watch. We had some good battles at times. It was a little bit of a shame that Raffaello didn't pit at the end, see a last couple of laps battle, but he certainly deserved that win. Both Aston Martins with the class of the field today, so hopefully we'll be able to do it again. And it was a really interesting and different from the norm here on LGE.
Yeah, it definitely is, but definitely exciting. I think this is awesome, and I think we'll do something similar to this in the future. Definitely was a hit. Hopefully, when we do another event, there's not too much lag in terms of the drivers leaving, because I think we could have gotten a lot more drivers involved. I definitely think that the LSR cars would have been up there, but unfortunately the lag affected them and some other teams as well. But that concludes things. What a race for Gavra Racing. Raffaello, the winner of the 2 hours of Le Mans. Bonvilla in the other Gavra car comes home in P2. 65 finishes ahead of 5 as the 2 Gavra Racing cars come home in P1 and P2. Pepe Fresh in the Direct Virtual Motorsports rounds off the podium. What a result for him as well as, what a race. So I want to say, Joe, thank you so much for joining me in the commentary box for this prestigious event. I want to say thank you so much for joining me throughout the entire long distance endurance race, and hope to be doing that in the future.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right. Well, viewers, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. It has been a long journey. It has been a lot of preparation for this event, but it definitely has paid off. And I want to say thank you to all the teams that participated. All 7 teams really showed that they had the pace and gave us a great race. And without you guys, it wouldn't be really an event. So just want to say thank you so much to all teams that joined. And hopefully we can do that, something similar in the future. I definitely think that we got some planned stuff to come up with. So anyway, just want to say thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel to see more LGE content. And like the video if you enjoyed the 2 hours of Le Mans. And I guess we'll see you all in the next one. So bye from us. Myself is Formula Jonah, and that's Joe, aka Keem's Home, and we'll be signing off from the LGE channel for now. And we'll see you very soon tomorrow for the Limitless 1 coverage of their race. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.